Good evening, Glenn. Welcome to the Laughing Monkey Music Show. We're doing a newer thing called Vinyl 10 by 10, where we just kind of talk about music. So welcome on,
Right.
Glenn.
Here we are talking about music. But I was just saying, this is a good excuse because a mate of mine, Andy Biddle, he's one of the most tattooed. What does he call it? He does record fairs, rare
Yep.
records. He's a bit of a punk rocker. Likes the he thinks I don't know that he likes the Clash quite a lot. And being a Sex Pistol, I'm not too happy about that. And he thinks I don't see his Facebook page, but I do. But quite kindly, he came about a year ago before lockdown. He came around my house and was disgusted that all my old singles, which I haven't got many contemporary ones, I've got ones from when I was a kid,
Good.
weren't in bags or anything like that, or hardly any of them. Because back then I didn't realise. I thought records were like sweets. You know, when you buy a bar of chocolate, Hershey's, hopefully not, maybe Cadbury's, or Bourneville.
Yeah.
You want to get to it as quickly as possible, and you tear all the wrapper off and throw it away.
Yep.
So that's what I used to do. I never realised you were supposed to keep them nicely. And I've used this as an excuse. Look, I've done
Good.
a whole bunch here, and then I've got some other ones doing it. But both my folks have died in I don't know, 6, 7, 5 years ago, my parents, and I've inherited all their records, and also I'm trying to separate the wheat from the chaff. There's lots of Jim Reeves caught up with a king, but they all have their merits,
And honestly, I knew that coming into this, the excitement.
And they have memories as well,
Right, and that's what it's all about. I literally pick shows. The same thing. I pick different ones. It's not. I don't have a lot of new music in it too. I expected you to have a lot of cool references that I didn't know.
Well, I think you're going to be lucky there because I've found some funny old things. Oh, have I got? I don't know if that one's so good.
Yeah. Why don't you start with one?
Well, it's not very punk rock.
No, it's not even about punk. Yeah. Who's the artist? I can't see the artist, though.
This is a bit there. I can't remember what the A side is. I think this is There'll Be a Hot Time in the Old Town Tonight by Chris Barber's jazz band, featuring utterly, what kind of name's that? Patterson. Now, Chris Barber.
Yeah.
There was a whole thing, before rock and roll started in England, before my time, there was kind of skiffle, which was like possibly an equivalent to your rockabilly. And there was this whole scene going on for young blokes at university and art school and stuff, trad jazz. There was this English bloke playing trad jazz. And Chris Barber was one of the leading proponents of it, exponents of it. And he helped start up the Marquee Club and stuff and the 100 Club.
Oh, wow.
So in a way, it's not exactly down there on Bourbon Street kind of style, but some of it's good.
That's a good one.
It's one of my folks kind of things. But look, here we go. Look, in the bag.
All right, you're gonna make somebody very happy.
Yeah, but that's
so.
I've got what I've got here. I've got some of my records, like my records that I'm on. I've got records that I've kind of co-produced or been involved with somehow. There's a band. Here's one I haven't even played yet, but I've heard it. Look, 2 years ago, Clem Burke gave me that. It's Christmas Time and Joyful Nights by the Empty Hearts. So that's pretty good actually. But so that goes in that pile, and that's a record I made. And not only is that a record I made, I had a band called the Spectres years ago. It's an acetate. It's metal inside it. So that goes in that kind of pile. And then I've got the pile of the ones I really like, and I've got the pile that I don't want, which are my folks ones. But there's some in-between stuff. And Chris Barber...
You have a great collection of singles and 45s. You'd be like the jukebox man.
Well, do you know what I've got here? Look, I bought this when it came out.
Oh, wow.
And I've kept that since then.
That's from back...
Yeah, I bought that when it came out, when I was a kid, when I was about 10 or 11. I can't remember if I bought that one first or... See, now I've got no filing system. But that's part of the fun of records, isn't it? It's about getting them out, leaving them all over the floor. Don't tread on them when you get up in the morning. Now, I know it's got a pink label, Well, no, maybe he didn't actually. Some of them had a pink label. And that was the other one I might have bought when it came out. Can you read it?
No, it's just little. I got the worst eyesight anyhow.
You really got me by the Kinks on the Pie label. They were the first 2 records I ever bought. I can't remember which one I bought. And I think this one was 3 shillings and 6pence, and this was 1 and 11pence. That's like old money.
That says a lot. It's the fact you still have them and they're in good condition.
Well, Iggy Pop said to me that he likes his records scratchy, and they are kind of a bit scratchy, you know. So.
Well, playable. I mean, I buy all my records from a secondhand shop, so usually they have a little bit of a little feel to them. They've been broken in.
Yeah,
I like it. Yeah, nothing perfect. That's why I like records. It's warm. It's a little noise.
Yeah. So there you go. But they're kind of where I was coming from, I suppose.
I'll show you one of the ones I got. I picked a Duke Ellington.
Oh, okay. You're a bit of a jazzer, yeah?
Yeah. So yeah, jazz piano, leader of the orchestra. He played it for his whole life. This is a cool one. This is kind of like an ode or nod to Paris. He's got a ton of songs on here. You got Under the Paris Skies, Midnight in Paris, Speak to Me, My Love. You know, really, really good. You know, jazz album from.
Okay.
I love.
There you go. I mean, I'm with you with that. I did have someone, and over the years things get lost. But I've been restocking my Blue Note stuff, and Dave Brubeck.
Blue Note and I think Harmony. This is Harmony. Harmony does a lot too, like of these.
Okay. Yeah, that and what else? I bought a couple of years back again. There's a kind of blue which I had that went tallest tree. Is that one? No, pictures, sketches of Spain, stuff like that.
Nice.
So I'm with you there.
I like that. Yeah,
what do you like about jazz?
I like the unpredictability. I like the groove. I like the fact that on a really good jazz song, you kind of feel like you're going on a journey. You're not. It's not 100% pop sensibility. You know what I mean? You're not locked into.
I'm going to jump in here though, because lots of jazz music. There's a kind of consequence to it, but they don't have any lyrics on the stuff. Some of the stuff,
right?
And it's kind of, in a way, it's good because you can read into it what you want. And you don't have to listen to somebody's dopey lyrics. Not saying that there's been some fantastic lyrics. And one of my favourite jazz songwriters is Mose Allison. His lyrics are great. You know, your molecular structure and your mind is on vacation. Those are good. I ain't talking. Yeah. So I got all that stuff, originals of that as well. Not obviously when it came out, but because I was too young. But there you go. Right.
Those are great. Why'd you pull something up there from your pile? What you got?
Well, I dug this out quite early. Now I was quite pleased with that one. I've played that when I was a young kid. All
right.
Can you see it?
No, you're probably gonna have to read them.
Chantilly Lace by the Big Bopper.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Hello, baby.
Yeah, come on, baby. You know what I like. But on the B side, it's even better if you're like a 5 or 6 year old kid, which I must have been at the time. And it's like we had these people called Pinky and Perky over here, which were two singing pigs. I think there was an American equivalent, but I can't remember the names for kids, kind of thing. And the B side is Purple People Eater meets the Witch Doctor, and it's got all sped up vocals on it. Yeah, there were 1, there were 2, there were 3.
I remember the song though. A lot of bands covered that a while back. That was a kid. Yeah.
I bet that band who did the Banana Split song did it. What are they called? The Dickies.
Yep. There's a lot of bands that did burn here. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, good. What else
I picked up something a little different. This is a hippie. You might actually jump on me about this one. This is old Neil Young. Rust. I kind of like that. It's got the old like Cinnamon Girl on Sugar Mountain. That's how I don't think Cinnamon Girl's on this one. I kind of like it. It's old. I'm not a big Neil Young fan, but for some reason that album is kind of just a fun, different.
Okay, I can appreciate Neil Young, and I've never been a big fan of his
and his vocals are different. I get that too. You know,
when I was at school, a mate of mine, Tony Moss, lent me a Neil Young record. You know, he used to swap
Yeah.
records for a week.
Oh yeah.
And I was into the Faces and Mock the Hoople and David Bowie, and I think the album's called After the Gold Rush, and it's looking back, it was kind of good, but it weren't quite Rod Stewart, you know, in my book.
I get that, and I didn't appreciate this till later on in life, and I'll get in a mood to hear it. It's nothing like I play all the time. I'm pulling just records from my collection that I have either gotten from whatever, not just like my favorites. So I agree. I think that's probably the one that, or I like Harvest Moon. I like some songs off of that, and I like the stories of how they produced it.
Yeah.
When he did his Harvest Moon one, he's out on a farm. I guess he had a farm wherever, and what he would do is he get in a rowboat and they blast the speakers from the barn, and he'd listen to the production from like the boat in the middle of things to hear if it sounded good. That's the story. I don't know if it's true, but it's a really good story.
Maybe did, but I've appreciated him more in recent years. I went to the Isle of Wight Festival when he headlined it.
Yeah, how was
I
it?
don't think he felt he was going down that well. And I had some connections. My kids were brought up there, and the crowd wasn't a really rock and roll crowd. It'd be like teachers from the local schools, you know, and all that. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody has to do something. And he played Rockin' in the Free World, which went down quite well. So he did it again. And then he did it again. And then I had to sort of get back. And so I walked to my car, and it was quite warm, and I had the window down. And just as I managed to get out of the car park, he'd actually played it for the 6th time.
No way.
Right. So I think he was trying to make a point. But I thought, good for you. And then not after that, I quite liked his, what's it called? Piece of Crap song. Sorry, no, TV, I got it home. It was Then I saw, and then when I was flying to the States, I saw it was a video of it, and it's great. He's backstage somewhere, and there's a flight case, and he's got lumberjack shirt, and in his first half of the song, he's listening to a playback with his styrofoam cup, and then halfway through, do you know what he does?
What?
He turns around with his back to the camera, and that's the rest of it. It's fantastic. It's a piece of crap video. It's great. So you went right up in my estimation.
He's pretty interesting. He was actually, for a while, he was in New England getting my wife's chiropractor was actually his chiropractor, and he was driving around, and he has this old car. He drives around. He still drives. He's pretty much true to who he is. I really respect that about him. Even if you don't like his albums, he is the man. He's not going to take crap, and he does what he wants. So artistically, but that is probably the album that I like of his. That because that's a difference between.
Yeah. There you go. I'm looking for stuff now. Well, you show me one.
All right. I got some friends of yours, or at least a couple, Stray Cats.
Oh, Stray
Bill
Cats.
For Speed.
Cool.
This is.
You're doing albums. I thought you was doing singles.
No, I don't have. No, I said albums. I don't have 45s. I have no 45s. Just talking about it. It's not a big deal. The song's a song. You have stories.
I like to get it right.
It's all right.
But it is all right because I'm sorting these out finally after all these years.
No, just don't. I'm pretty sure there's no rules in rock and roll. We're just talking music, man. This is a cat.
There's some somewhere. Yeah, I don't even know that one. Do you know that one, Velvet Sunset? But this is an EP. I think they should bring back EPs. They're fantastic. Earl Bostic and his orchestra. Wrap it up for you. Velvet Sunset. I'm chopping it down.
Great. What's great is those albums are probably those singles are so strong and not crappy. Remember how they came out really strong, and then the industry kind of went belly up for vinyl, like in the '80s, and all the vinyl got really thin. It was just horrible. And now you're paying like $30 for a new album that's been remastered.
Right. No, that was in the mum and dad's poll. New Seekers, you won't find another fool like me, right? I will say now, what shall I do with this one? Because that's good.
Who is it?
Heartaches by Patsy Cline. Now, Patsy Cline's good.
I love Patsy Cline.
Slim Jim from the Stray Cats would play that on his record show, I think. So I think that's got to go in the Glen poll, really, even if it's only a show.
Play when he's over.
Slim Jim when he comes, because he comes and stays with me sometimes.
Well, I think this
one's a no-no. Look, Frankie Vaughan, have you heard of him?
No.
He was like he was a good Jewish boy from the East End who was a song and dance man, you know, with a boater and a cane. But that was one of the ones that didn't do so well. More jazz.
Is that more of a show tuning guy? I'm less fan of the show tunes. I love a lot of the older music and orchestra and stuff and classical. Show tunes is kind of where it's a knife in the heart for me.
Yeah, well, one of my big heroes as a songwriter, although I'm no near in his book, is Anthony Neely.
Mhm.
Do you know him?
I do not know. Who is
Right. Anthony Neely? He wrote a lot of the James Bond songs. He
Oh,
only did
cool.
twice.
Yep. I know those songs.
He wrote Feeling Good that Nina Simone did and that some English band did recently. I'm feeling good.
Mhm.
Dun, dun, dun. That was from, I think it's from Porgy and Bess or something like that. He wrote, what did he write? He wrote, What Kind of Fool Am I? What
Oh,
kind
yep.
of fool am I?
I know that one.
Never
That's right.
fell
Yep.
in love. That one. Anthony Neely. But I've got here, but he was a rock and roller. He was one of England's first rock and rollers. And we used to have this thing in England called National Service,
Mm-hmm.
which was before my time, where people would get called up into the army or the air force. My dad, oh, that's quite a good one.
Oh, okay. So like selective
My
service.
dad was in the air force, but he was in the army, and then there were some movies that came out that sort of took the mickey out of it. And there was a film called Idol on Parade, and it's a pun on the word idol, right? So idol, IDOL or
Okay. I
IDLE.
know. Yeah.
Right, and he's a rock and roll guy in the army, and he's a singer on the choir, and he wants to be a bit of a teddy boy, which was like the 50s kind of look thing. And he did a song called Saturday Night Rock a Boogie about how his girlfriend or his wife or whatever gets him ready for Saturday night, and every day of the week she's ironing his Slim Jim tie or his drain pipe pants, and every day of the week it goes up a semitone. On Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday, on Saturday night, I'm the king. And I've got that Saturday Night Rock a Boogie. So it says somewhere. I'll prove it.
See, this is the best part. I'm going to be checking out all these afterwards. Like,
yeah. And not only that, oh, here you go, Saturday Night Rock a Boogie. Right, Saturday Night Rock a Boogie.
Oh, Decca Records, of course.
He married Joan Collins.
Really? So, how long did that last?
He was a bit of a boy. Even say that.
That's pretty awesome.
What else you got for me there?
I got Marvin Gaye Anthology.
Oh, that's a cool one.
So yeah, I found this in a record.
What's that one got on it?
Well, it's like a 3 album. It's all Motown, everything from what's going on. You know how Motown had every artist cover the same song like 5 times.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing. So he does like everything from Pride and Joy, Wonderful One, Your Precious Love. Heard Through the Grapevine. Of course, all his hits are on here.
Well, the Grapevine there, but there was a program on the telly over Christmas over here. It's like the history of Motown with Barry Gordy.
Some really
yeah.
And I love the fact there's like fold outs and I love that about vinyl.
Yeah. No, there was a program on the telly on the TV about the history of Motown, and it was Smokey Robinson and Barry Gordy hanging out, and they had an argument over who was the first person to record I Heard It Through the Grapevine.
Really?
And it was a toss-up between Marvin Gaye, Gladys Knight and the Pips, and then somebody else did it. And
did they solve it?
Smokey Robinson, $100 bet, Smokey Robinson insisted that he'd done it first and it hadn't come out right. And then Gladys Knight did it, and then he re-recorded it again, and then they made a transcontinental, like LA to Detroit kind of phone call to get Mavis to work as a secretary at first. And Smokey Robinson lost. He paid up, but he still wasn't sure. he paid up gladly, but he wasn't sure.
Well, at least he paid up. Yeah, no sort of losers.
But I tell you what, there was that movie come out. Did you see Standing in the Shadows of Motown, which was all about the Funk Brothers, all the guys who played on that? My all-time favorite bass player.
I haven't seen it yet. No,
is James Jameson. It's about 10 years ago now, but they did a tour right? And they played here, the Funk Brothers, and they had a few people got up with them. Maybe they could have had some more people. Billy Preston got up and sang. I can't remember the others, but it was the guys who played on the record. And I got backstage and I shook hands with a tambourine player. And I said, you seem to be the leader of the band. He said, hell yeah, boy. He said, can't you see? I've got the captain's hat on. And he had the captain's hat on. And he was the band leader, really. And I'm sure my tambourine playing went up from that date. I shook hands with him.
That's good.
And it was a great James Jameson weren't there, but it was this other guy who played bass on the later stuff. I forget his name now, but yeah, there you go. But I was all good.
Yeah, I love that. I love old Motown. I mean, arguably, I have a lot of holes in my game when it comes to some of this, like artists and stuff. I mean, I have a lot of knowledge more, but I love this, and I'll hear the songs, and it's fantastic. And this album is the best. It's a good Sunday afternoon spin. You know,
put it on.
I love it.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, I got one for you. I found. I didn't realise I had it, but I still got the original picture sleeve. Look at that. Can you see that?
Oh, nice. That's nice. That's a good condition too, man. Look at that.
Yeah, I think I got that. It's an original, but I got it in more recent years. But it's Small Faces, and I was mates with them, and I got to play with some of them. You know, I played with the Faces, and then at the end of the set, we did a couple of Small Faces songs. We learned All or Nothing, which is quite easy.
Yeah.
And Tin Soldier, which is kind of complicated, but we got it right. And as we was walking off stage, Ronnie Wood said to me, and meant it, he said, Glenn, how about that? Me and you played 2 Small Faces songs with the Small Faces and got them right. And he was like really pleased. He was like a kid. It was great.
That's
so
awesome.
There you go.
That's a good one, man.
So I got my Saturday Night Rocker Boogie. I've got some stuff here. No, don't know about him. He can go. But I like this. Look.
RCA. I like that. I like the little spin on it here. Gold records. Is it Miller?
Glenn Miller.
Yeah, Glenn Miller. Okay, so I see Miller on it. The way it was sitting. Now, Glenn Miller, I do like.
Yeah. So my folks liked all the big band stuff. And then when we was playing in LA with the Sex Pistols in 1996, Slim Jim's a mate of mine, he came down to the show and we played at the Palladium. And I wasn't so pleased with the acoustics there, but it's got a big sort of round proscenium arch. And I said, what's the sound like? He said, it was all right. I said, was it really echoing? He said, yeah. I said, you know what? I reckon you could sort of see like Artie Shaw or Glenn Miller or something, Benny Goodman. And he said, that's exactly what it was built for, you know.
Yeah, the acoustics.
Yeah. So
no amplifiers. That's cool. I used to work for one of my many music jobs, a radio station. It was AM FM, so really enjoyed it. I used to do the Sounds of Sinatra show and all kinds of AM goodies. Really enjoyed them.
All right. Your turn.
All right. This is kind of an easy one. This is a offbeat one, and obviously it's Jimi Hendrix, but it's not one of his classic ones, but it's kind of cool. It's all his hits on one album, and got some cool old artwork on it. You know, I don't have all the Hendrix albums. I have everything else on CD and stuff. But as far as vinyl goes, you know, having some Hendrix on vinyl is a must. Yeah. You know, it's a good one. You know, all his hits are on Cross on Traffic, Purple Haze, Zone Free. He does do Remember, which he doesn't usually have on his albums, and Can You See Me, which is nice to have some different songs on it. I like when they put different songs and mix it up with artists.
I don't know that one you mentioned it. Yeah, that's cool. Again, I can appreciate Jimi Hendrix, but I'm not his biggest fan.
No, I once again, I think my wife's a way bigger fan than I am. But you know,
I saw a great picture of him at some. Where was I? Where are you based? You told me.
I'm in Connecticut, in New England.
Right.
Connecticut, outside like near Hartford, outside of Hartford, Connecticut.
Right. I've been to Greenwich. I stayed with my friend Greenwich. So.
You're probably about 45 minutes, 50 minutes without traffic from me.
But anyway, I was in LA a few years back, and there was a big art photography exhibition. I forget the name of the place. It's near it's not Studio City, some other city on the way to Santa Monica. And we went to the photographic exhibition. They had all these rock photos. But just tucked away, there was this fantastic picture of Jimi Hendrix with a pompadour and a like 60s suit on, and he was playing with who did I mention earlier? It's Solomon Burke, and it was some after show party for something that he played on, and he was getting up playing them, and he looked like he was in the benches. But it was great. I like things like that, you know.
I do too. I like something that's different. I mean, clearly things get popular and seen a lot because they're popular and they're good, commercially. But I like the different stuff myself.
Yeah. There's a record that's kind of something that I was on. It's Wendy James, Wendy James from Transvision Vamp.
Yeah.
Played some bass for ages, but that's quite a good band actually. We had James.
What kind of music?
James Cavana from the Bad Seeds on drums. I play bass. Lenny Kaye plays rhythm on it, and Wendy sings. That's all right. That'll go in the. I was on that pile. This is a fantastic record.
I like the artwork already.
Yeah, but the only thing is, I was going to play it the other day.
Yeah.
And the record weren't in the sleeve, but it was a song. There was a musical comedian, I suppose you call it vaudeville kind of comedian, and he's like really it's called Max Wall. You should look him up.
I'm gonna. This is the show's all about. Yeah,
he's really surreal, but in the 50s, really surreal. But Ian Dury from the Blockheads kind of took him under his wing, and he wrote this song for him, and the words are fantastic. It's kind of a bit of a Mickey take. It's called England's Glory, all the things that are good about England. But there are jewels in the crown of England's glory, and every jewel shines 1,000 ways. And then he goes on to list all the people: Frankie Howard and Noel Coward and Garden Gnomes, Frankie Vaughan and Kenneth Orne and Sherlock Holmes, Monty and Biggles and Old King Cole in the pink or on the dole, Oliver Twist and Long John Silver, Captain Cook and Nellie Dean, Enid Blyton, Gilbert Harding, Malcolm Sargent, Graham Greene, there are jewels in, and it sort of lists all these things that I knew when I was a kid. Somerset Morn, Top of the Form, which was a kids' quiz show, and the Boys Brigade, Mortimer Wheeler, Christine Keeler, who was named in the Profumo scandal. So Mortimer Wheeler, Christine Keeler, and the Board of Trade, which is like a trade body for business. Henry Cooper, our boxer, nearly knocked out Muhammad Ali, and there was an extended count. So we're a bit. So Henry Cooper, Wakey Wakey, which was a call sign for this bloke Billy Cotton, England's Labour, Standard Vanguard, which was a really bad car, Spotted Dick, which is a steamed pudding with raisins in it, and England's Workers, England's Glory. There you go. So that's
I will look them up.
I ain't got the record, so
I will look that up.
It's great, and there's a video of it. It's on YouTube. Oh look, I found this. Look what I found. I found this earlier on. I thought, I've lost the cover for that. This is only from the UK, but then I've just come across the original black cover, so that's going in there.
That's a classic. That's really cool. So in theme of talking about comedians and old time, I have this one.
Oh well, there you go. Yeah,
Groucho Marx. With Groucho Marx there. What's really great is I like the Marx Brothers. I mean, I think you need to take the comedy records from back then in the moment. I think that's why nobody appreciates it, because they relate nowadays. They're like, I don't think it's funny. You got to kind of get an idea what was going on back then and kind of put yourself in that moment to really enjoy it, I think.
Yeah, and sort of Groucho Marx was quite anarchic as well, left field.
Oh, yeah. Did you read his book? Did you read the book with Raised Eyebrows? Oh, that's a good book. I recommend that one. It talks all about his life.
About 10 years ago, I went to Air Studios. No, not Air Studios. Yeah, was it Air? Air Studios in London. It's a big studio. It's like kind of one up from Abbey Road, really. And my mate was doing an installation there, and I was there. I was going to have lunch with him. And guess who came in and sat to have lunch with us? Was George, the Beatles producer. George, he produced the Beatles. George Martin came in with his son. Now, I'm a big fan of English comedy records, and
Yeah.
Why
He did a lot.
George Martin was so keen to produce the Beatles, because up to then he'd only produced comedy records.
Yeah.
Right. And I was about to ask him, hey, George, can I ask you a question? And he would have gone, no, not the Beatles. And I was going to ask him, you know, he made
Yeah.
records with Peter Sellers. Do you know Peter Sellers' version of A Hard Day's Night? And
I had not heard it, but no, I didn't. I know
that's
this.
on the
He done
YouTube.
it.
It's fantastic.
I'll
He
figure it out.
dresses up like Richard III, and he does it a recital. It's all strings. It has been a hard day's night, and I have been sleeping like a log. It has been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog. But when I get home to you, I find the things that you do make me feel all right. It's great. And he's all dressed up. You got to watch it. But George Martin produced that. And I was going to ask him about all those things. And he got called away for a phone call and I missed it. There you go.
See, that's great. I think that would have been really great to ask him that too, because he totally wouldn't have expected that one.
Yeah. Anyway, there's one I like. Before it goes on, can you say that?
Sideways. Yeah, I got Sideways. What is it? There you go.
Oh, can you read it?
Yeah, Ronnie Lane.
Ronnie Lane, Slim Chance. Don't try and change my mind. It's a fantastic track, that. Don't try and change. It's really clever rhythm on it. It's sort of like mixes rock steady.
I know the artist. I don't know the song.
Check this one out. It's great.
I'm going to check them all out. I mean, everything we've talked about.
Yeah. So that's that one. What else have I got? Your turn.
I got a couple left here. So I got I liked it. This came out in the 80s. What was kind of trippy back then was the Honey Drippers.
Oh, I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, it was it was a playoff of the original Honey something or other. But this is when Robert Plant did a Sea of Love. It was Phil Phillips, Sea of Love. He did a cover of it. Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck, Nile Rodgers produced it.
Right.
Brian Setzer did some guitar, and I think, I mean, it's all old standards, you know.
Yeah, but I was into all that stuff. I met Robert Plant many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They come to the Roxy, which was the prime punk club in London, and the Damned were playing. This is a funny little story. The Damned were playing.
Yeah.
And after about 20 minutes that they'd been on, and it was in a little basement. Came down the stairs, and the band were playing in front of the stairs. And you could see the staircase. Led Zeppelin came down to check out the new punk scene, right? And then the Damned finished up. They did like one more number and finished, right? And went in the dressing room.
Yeah. And
I got introduced to Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, and all of a sudden there was a big kerfuffle. And on the stage is John Bonham, the drummer, and he's going, "What is this? What is this? 25 minutes, he'd had a good drink or whatever, 25 minutes, we play for 4 hours. Get the band back out without that mouse scabies, and I'll play with them." Next thing, he's bundled out, and he's carried up horizontal by their roadies out the club. And Jimmy Page and Robert Plant are going, "Oh, no, not again like that." Anyway, that was that. And the Damned
I never heard that.
Because they didn't realise it, but they were doing 2 sets, right? But anyway, I went to see the Stray Cats, and he's a big Stray Cats fan. And I said, "I met you years ago." And he said, "Where?" And I said, "At the Roxy Club, when you come down to check out the punk scene, and your mate, your drummer bloke, kind of misbehaved really bad." Oh, that was always happening.
That is a good story. Thank you for that sharing that one. That is.
Look, another one. Look, that's in its original paper thing.
From Decca. That one's the front's too small on that one. What is it?
It's "Do You Mind" by Anthony Newley.
Oh, okay.
See, and I'm a big fan of his because as well as what he did, this is his pop stuff. And I actually did a live lockdown thing with El Slick was staying with me, and we actually went into this one. "Do you mind if I say I love you? Do you mind?" And if it wasn't for Anthony Newley, there would have been no David Bowie. He totally copies him. Listen to Anthony Newley stuff, the way he sings, and listen to some of Bowie's stuff.
I will.
And these are the kind of guys who were around then. Oh, and there's another one. Oh, I don't know where this has come from. What a great song title. See, now another bloke who was around at the same time, and he really was England's first rock and roller, was a guy called Tommy Still. And he had a song called called Rock with a Caveman, right? Which he wrote.
Title. Yeah.
He co-wrote with Lionel Bart, who wrote all the big show tunes, you know, in good East End boys. But I've just felt I didn't realise I had this. And do you know what one of the songs called? Hopefully it's the B-side. It's called Egg and Chips.
That's an English thing.
Yeah, Egg and Chips. Yeah. So there you go.
That's cool.
Right. Your turn.
I got all right, I got 4 more left here. So I got Wes Montgomery, greatest hits.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
You know, jazz guitar, but you know, he was known for for people that don't know, known for his finger picking style, like the weird side style. Yeah. He had this like weird octave sound. Fantastic. Totally a little different than normal.
George Benson kind of thing, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, it's really worth, especially guitar players, you really need to go out there and check him out. I mean, it's just a lost treasure. Once again, jazz too, sort of, you know.
Good. I've got my more daft records here, but I like this one. This is a good one-hit wonder. Have you heard of this guy?
I can't even see it. That's even smaller. It's like the worst eye test ever.
Well, it's on the Pie label by Emil Ford and the Checkmates. And it's What Do You Want to Make Those Eyes at Me For? Do you know that song? It was a big hit over there when I was a kid. Why do you
sounds like the
50s.
The Checkmates is a 50s. It's the 50s name. It sounds like.
Well, it was
the 50s.
Don't have dates on it. But I didn't realise. I always thought he was Dutch or something. Emil was not a very English name, but early part of lockdown, I was out on my bicycle and I found a blue plaque. They have blue plaques to famous people on the board, and it said Emil Ford lived here. He was the first West Indian to have a hit in England. So there you go.
That's a good hit.
Yeah. This one will keep my mate Andy, the record store guy.
Clash.
The Clash, yeah. Well, I'm not going to broadcast that too much.
I actually did the Clash the first episode I did a Clash album.
Which one did you do?
I did Combat, and the other guy, Warren, did I forgot the other album. We were just talking Clash to begin with. We did a couple Clash albums.
Oh, just going back to the name, the Honey Drippers. Mm-hmm. And talking about the Clash, because I said the Honey Drippers, I thought was a good 50s kind of name.
It is.
The guy, Nick, who was in the tail end of the Clash, lives in Australia now. What's his name? Nick? I forget his name. But he's a good bloke, and he lives in Perth in West Australia. But a thing came up on Facebook from him the other day, and he's got like a bar band together. They got a great name, I think, which is a bit like the Honey Drippers, and they're called the Feel All Rights. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, what are you doing? Well, we're going to see the Feel All Rights.
Feel All Rights. It's very upbeat too. It's very 60s.
And they all look a bit sort of early 60s, and they had their picture in front of an old Jag. Yeah, it is a weird one. Look.
I like that.
Oh, that's in the original thing. That weren't mine. I've acquired that somehow.
You got a lot of classics there, man. You probably got.
Hello, Susie by Amen Corner. Do you know them? Amen Corner?
I don't, but I think I've heard the song covered by other people.
Their big hit was If Paradise Was Half As Nice. If paradise was half as nice as the heaven that you take me to.
Not 100% sure.
In paradise, I'd rather have you.
What time frame?
66, 67.
Yeah.
The keyboard player was Blue Weaver, who I've got mates with over the years, who was in Motley Hoople for a bit and ended up working on all the Bee Gees Saturday Night Fever stuff. So there you go. Good Hammond player. Look at that. That's right.
Oh boy, that is a good one. Nice.
Double bubble. Got that.
Those are originals, I'm assuming.
That's the original.
Those need to go plastic though. What's that?
That's my Rich Kids band in red cover, but I've got a red vinyl one somewhere.
I like that. I like the special editions.
What's this one? Oh, it's a mum and dad's one. Jimi Hendrix Experience.
There you go.
Yeah, it's not in there. But now I've cross-referenced because I've already put that in the sleeve, so that'll have to go on another pile. Oh, that can go with the Maxwell one. This is quite good. Mum and Dad record. But,
7. What is it?
the 7 Ages of Anger.
Okay.
He was a clarinetist. He was good actually. He did a song called. He had a couple of big hits. Petit Fleur and Midnight in Moscow, but none of them are on this, so that's going to go in the.
Like the first title.
Midnight in Moscow, Petit Fleur. Oh look, another Sex Pistols one, black vinyl. I'm in the money.
I hope you put them all in a big pile.
Well, I've got some. Look, I'm going to show you. Look.
Yeah.
It's all sort of.
Yeah.
Messy pile. I haven't got in the vinyl yet. It's all over there. Look. So we'll have to do a vinyl one. God Save the Queen and a reissue one.
That's a nice condition too.
Got 2 of those, but what I'm trying to find, is another Anarchy in the UK and a picture sleeve. Here's what I'm looking for. Look, I don't know how many true record collectors we got. Can you see that?
Yeah, I Want to Be Me. Yep.
That's in a Dutch sleeve.
Yeah.
And on the back, it's got adverts for Pussycat, Jack Jersey, Anita May, George Baker, the Tavares, Diana Ross, Ferrari, and Brotherhood of Man. That's from Holland. So that I don't ever seen that. We've got another Pistols revival thing. That's a reissue. Got a Rich Kids record that was out about Marching Men Sleeve. That's the original of that.
I like the artwork on that.
Some of these records are what I gave to my mum. There's another Rich Kids first single on red vinyl. Ooh.
I like that. That looks nice.
Yeah, Stranglers.
I like them. Ah, stop.
It's in the other pile.
All right, I still like them. You know what? I didn't do any yes today. Just
What you got there?
I'm a big fan. I got all right, so my last. So I got this. More of a compilation. It's the Beatles. I don't have Beatles. Beach Boys. Endless Summer.
I know that. That's good.
Basically, it's all their good stuff from 62 to 65.
Well, some of the best albums, the best Motown albums, are the Motown Chartbusters. You know.
Yeah.
Motown Chartbusters Volume 5, with the Temptations and Diana Ross and all that. It's kind of an early mixtape, isn't it, really? Oh, look, there you go. On Bell Records. Ride a White Swan. This one's good. The Love Affair. Do you know that?
No.
Love Affair. A guy called Steve Ellis was a singer.
You know, it's hard. I actually went back and I listened to watch that show on Netflix, or whatever, Mad Men. And I'm digging the music, whatever. And I go back, I start listening to the songs, like the soundtrack, and I don't know the titles of the artists. And I'm like, I know this song. I know the song, like you hear them, but I didn't know the name of it, the artist, but I'm familiar with it. I've got to have heard some of these songs and just not.
Yeah, well, you know,
it's got to be like I'll listen to it and be like, oh yeah, I know who that is now.
There's songs in America that I don't really know, and there's songs in England you probably won't know.
Oh, probably.
So for that reason, but some are worthwhile checking out. Look, there's another Anthony Newley. This is like a kid's record called "Pop Goes the Weasel." You know the
yeah, it's a classic.
But he does it as like a big band version. And Bowie would never have written "The Laughing Gnome" if he'd never heard of Anthony Newley. And there's a fantastic thing on YouTube. Mm-hmm. It's Anthony Newley. It's a program, something. It's called Gurney Slade, which is supposed to be a village, right? Okay. A fictitious village, and he's in it, and it's like early '60s, look, you know, with drainpipe trousers and a Slim Jim tie and a white Mac, and he never talks to anybody. All the words are in his head, and all the words of the other characters are in his head, in their heads. And it's really quite surreal, and it's also where Monty Python got a lot of stuff from. You got to check it out.
I got it. Yeah, this is awesome.
It's whacked out. That's a mate's band. Look, who plays with me sometimes. Neil X, who was in the Zig Zig Sputnik. He plays me and he plays with Mark Armour, but he's got a side project and they got a good name. They're called the Monte Cristos. I think that's kind of cool. So go there.
I remember.
That's one of Bowie's best records. I think I've actually got that. Boys Keep Swinging.
Yep, that's a good one.
That's good. There you go. Now, I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And had a nose round the shop, well, in the museum. I played there actually with Sylvain Sylvain, which was a bit of a drag. And I've always loved this song. Do you know this one? You must know that in America.
Can't even read it.
Judy in Disguise with Glasses by John Fred and the Playboy Band. We only ever had one record in England. It was a big hit. Do you know these?
Yeah, I've heard that song. I just don't know.
Yeah, well, when the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I found their album, and I bought it and took it home. Do you know what? It's rubbish. I was so excited and couldn't play it until I got all the way back to England. And I put it on and it was tripe, apart from that one song. Oh, that's one's worth having. Look.
That is from the Casablanca label. I can't read who it is, though.
That is Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers? Yeah.
The Faces. And it is their last single, Paul or Richard, backed with I Wish It Would Rain, which I got to play both of those songs with them, which I was very privileged to do. Oh, there you go. That was the only good song they made, I think. Can you see that?
No.
It's on the Harvest label.
Yeah.
And it's the Electric Light Orchestra when Roy Wood was still in the band. And it's called the 10538 Overture, and it's great.
Okay. It's good. I do that song. Actually, I like a lot of ELO songs.
I don't, but I like that one. Oh, and here's one and all. That, a long time ago, I was doing a thing at some club, and a bit later on came down Tim Rice and Paul Jones from Manfred Mann, and they were pleased to meet me because they'd just come from the studio and they'd done an orchestral version, so they told me, of Pretty Vacant. And I'm thinking, fantastic, that's my song. And not only is it my song, every songwriter wants to hear their song with an orchestra on it. And I'm thinking, I can't wait to hear this, my riff, played with a 70-piece orchestra. And Tim Rice, bless him, promised to send me a record, and he did.
Yeah.
And I put it on, and do you know what? They left the riff out. There's no riff. There's no riff on it. Like, what? Some people, eh? That's good. I like that just for the cover.
Who is that? You got your finger over the thing. It's
You won't know who it is. I barely know who it is.
No.
It's a great cover.
Yeah.
It's called Les Chats Sauvages. It's like the savage cats. It's a 60s French thing. Ma petite amie est une vache, which basically my pidgin French means my girlfriend's a cow.
Oh, that's a funny title.
Anyway, that's just a good cover to have.
That's a good one.
So there you go. Paul Jones on the B-side of the and I told Steve Jones about it for his radio show, and I got another copy and sent it to him, and he put it on and he went, There you go. Oh, look, that's one worth having.
Backdoor?
Yeah. Can you see? It's probably a reissue. You can probably see me through it.
I can see you through. Yeah, good effect, but no.
It's Zoot Suit by the High Numbers. Do you know who the High Numbers were?
I don't know. No. This is
The Who.
Education.
The Who were called the High Numbers before they became the Who. That was their name.
I didn't know that. I'm a casual
fan.
You
want to talk to me more often? You can live and learn, mate.
I know that. That's why you were like the second person. I'm like, I reached out. I'm like, we gotta do this. Do the, so much music. Yeah, I'm a casual fan of the Who, so I don't know all their deep history. I have two left. So I'm gonna show you one real quick, just because we were talking about them last time we were talking.
Yeah.
But that was kind of a fun one. Charlie Sexton. Remember you said you were talking about him, that you saw him play
Yeah,
with Dylan.
You were Dylan, yeah, he's good. And he's mates with El Slick. And I want to get him on one of my records one day.
He plays every instrument. He's got the best voice.
Well, yeah, you only need him to play one at a time, right?
Well, yeah.
and people with having the best voice when you work with them kind of shows you up a little bit. So that's not a good idea either. But
well,
he's got a better quiff than me as well. Look, yeah.
I just saw this here. He's got a full head of hair too. I just saw thing with him. And the last one I have is Blondie.
Oh, that's a cool one to have. That's good.
I figured, I kind of stuck a little back in time a little bit.
I'm gonna finish off with a few good ones that I picked up when I was in France, and they're just kind of. I'm a big fan of Jacques Brel. Do you know Jacques Brel?
No, I don't know anybody from any French music artists.
Yeah, but Jacques Brel wrote the Makite part, which is "If You Go Away." It's a big ballad that everybody's done, but he was a bit out there, and Scott Walker made an album covering his songs. Bowie did Jacques Brel songs. You know, Port of Amsterdam. Do you know that song? On the Port of Amsterdam, there's a sailor who laughs.
No,
he did that. My Death. Bowie did Jacques Brel songs.
Are those some of the early ones that he did on some of his albums?
They're on. I think My Death's on Aladdin Sane. Anyway, did that, and then Scott Walker did an album. Scott Walker sings Jacques Brel, and it's all in English. Alex Harvey did a cover of this song called "Au Suivant," and the translation is "Next." And it's a fantastic premise of a song. It's about a guy who's in the Foreign Legion, in Algeria, and he's in a line, bollock naked, with all the rest of the army. Well, like. Took 30 of them, because what has been given to them is the Mobile Army whorehouse. And they're in a queue, and the sergeant major's shouting out, next. And it's all the things that go through his head. Scott Walker's version is fantastic, but he was actually Belgian and sang in French. But I picked up, they're good things to put on the wall more than anything else. But they're good records, and he did all that. This one.
Who's that?
Oh, it's another Jacques Brel thing. But just cool. This has got the Makite power on it. But this one, I mean, you can tell where he's coming from. One of the songs is called Les Bigots, which is the bigots. You know?
I'll check him out too.
Quand maman reviendra, which means when mum remembers or something. Les filles et les chiens. That's like girls and dogs. And la parole, I don't know what that means. So there you go. So I've got quite Catholic tastes.
You do.
But as long as there's a coloured sleeve involved, it doesn't matter. and a couple of other ones. It's a bit of a drag. Some of these records I know that my mate left it round here. Steve New, who's the guitarist in the Rich Kids, and he passed away. So it's a little bit sad, but there you go.
Yeah, very cool. I want to thank you, man, for sharing some of the stuff. That was fun.
Yeah.
I got a lot of new artists to go check out, and hopefully other people go on and open their minds up a little bit. You know?
Well, that's the idea, you know. There's loads of new old artists. Because people say to me, have you heard of, I don't know who, have I heard of Exquisite Pink Banana, who's just come out? And I go, no. But have you heard of the Sensational Alex Harvey Band? And they haven't.
Right.
And I say, well, look, it's the same difference. They're both new. One's new to me, and the other one will be new to you. It don't really matter when they come out. So there you go.
I was a fan of when I heard a band I liked, you know, who their influences were, and just keep going and keep going and keep going. So,
exactly. Yeah.
I love the deep dive. So this has been great. I've learned a lot today. So I want to thank you.
Good.
Some
all right.
Some good stuff, man.
I'll send you a comprehension test later on, right?